Ladies and gentlemen, I call the meeting of the Austintown Township Trustees for December 9th in order. Would you all please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Davis?
No, what's that, Mayor? Okay, we'll go ahead and do that.
Mr. Mayor?
Here.
Mr. DeWitt? Here.
It is an absolute pleasure on my part, anyone who takes the ability and goes out and gets a job in politics. First, we should smack them, then we should give them a psychiatric lesson, and now, after that's over, he's going to take over. Gentleman is an absolute gentleman. Steve Kent ran a beautiful campaign. He has become the next Austintown Township Trustee. He will officially start on the first day of January in 2020. But it's our pleasure today to be part of the celebration where he is sworn in by the judge. May I introduce Judge Robert Russo from the Mahoney County Probate Court, who will swear in our new trustee, and his family will join him. Please enjoy this.
Thank you, Ken. Always a pleasure to be here in Austintown. It's nice to see so many smiling faces on a lovely day out there. I'm actually playing second fiddle here to Judge J.P. Morgan, who is actually a new judge attorney. But Steve and I got to know each other through the election campaign. And the first time I met him, I was so struck by his honesty and his transparency and just how genuine he was. And so then, as a judge, you kind of take it and you kind of say, what's going on here? So I started asking some people about him, and then we had a lot of friends in common. We had a lot of acquaintances. And the same thing always kept coming up over and over again. He's got integrity, and that's what this job takes. And being a police officer, I know you have that, and now it's transitioning to this role as a police officer. I know you're going to do fine, and I'm very honored to be here today to sit second fiddle with Judge Morgan, who does give his apologies. He just could not make it back. The Supreme Court wouldn't let him leave early, so they said, no, you got to stay. So I'm here to administer the oath. If you're prepared to take the oath, I have no, you can just set that one down. I'll just have you raise your right hand, and you will repeat after me. I, Stephen E. Kent,
I, Stephen E. Kent,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of trustee
the duties of trustee
of Austintown Township,
of Austintown Township,
Mahoning County,
Mahoney County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance in office.
till my continuance in office.
Very good. Congratulations.
Sure. If anyone want to take some pictures, we'll stage this, please. Wait, what? Move in that for the next one. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second.
Where do we look first? Just look straight. Let me get out here and get your family. You don't have me in there.
You guys want to come up?
No, go up front. I feel like I'm going to put this.
We should have a check.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everybody. Commissioner Trapcani, my family from the church, my immediate family. It was a great race we put together. We worked really hard. Mark Cleveland was probably the darn pushing me every day and telling me what to do and helping me along, which is key. And along with my father-in-law, I don't know how I would have done it without you guys. My family, Alicia, just pushing me every day with a great drive. And I'm very honored to represent Austintown Township. Very honored. There we go. And Pat, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
We have a
Looking
great,
forward. Looking forward.
we have a great tradition in the Austintown Township when we have a trustees meeting. We honor the person that's being honored. And then we take a pause so that you can all leave and go to the party with him and don't have to sit there listening to us. Okay? So if you would like, if there's anything you want to take pictures or anything else, we'll take them. Let's get the family up and that sort of thing. Let's take some pictures. I call the meeting back to order, please. If I'd like to introduce, if I may, the people who run the township. Our director of our senior center is Mr. Jim Henshaw. To his left, the park superintendent is Todd Schaefer. Our fire chief is Chief Andy Frost. Our police chief is Bob Gavalier. Our zoning inspector is Darren Crivelli. Our township administrator and road superintendent is Mike Dockery. To my right is trustee Mr. Jim Davis. To my left is trustee Doug McLean. And to my far left, the lady who runs everything around here because she has the checkbook, is our fiscal officer, Lori Wolf. May I introduce Anthony Trafficani. And we are so excited to have a county commissioner within our meetings.
Well, it's great to be here.
Especially one that didn't, grow up in Austintown.
Right.
That's right.
Came a long way from Bowling.
That's
It's not easy getting up here. So much traffic.
Yeah, no.
Did you go through the roundabout?
Yes, I did. I kept going in circles.
Anthony, how many years have you been in county commission?
This is my fourth term, which would mean 16 years. Yeah. January of 2020, 16.
Good luck in next year.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's coming up in March. Appreciate your help, too.
Huh?
Anybody's help. Thanks, Dad. Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Everybody, happy holidays.
Okay, a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 25th and the special meeting of December 2nd.
So, second.
Mr. Carino?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the reports. Our administrator, Michael, you have anything to report?
Nothing to report until we get down to new business.
Okay, that's always the fun part. Let's go to the police department, chief.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Fire chief, Andy?
Yeah, we're still early in taking a look at it, but it looks like somebody may be posing as the fire department trying to solicit money from local businesses. So I was out of town the end of last week, and Dave went and saw Chief, and they put out a bulletin and all. So just a little warning to any of the businesses, we are not soliciting money at this time. So if anybody gets anything, call us immediately, and we'll try to track it down if we can. The numbers that are all given are fake numbers, and with no access to anything. So.
I understand that we're not the only ones. It's going on like crazy around all through Mahoney and Trumbull County.
So if everybody could repost, the police department put a bulletin out for us on social media, if everybody could repost that, we sure would appreciate it.
Very good. Karen, I'm gonna hold you just for a second. Okay, let's go to the senior center. Jim?
Gee whiz.
Well, he has a big list.
Okay. All I really wanted to say is we had our Christmas party on Friday. We had 154 people in attendance. And I really want to commend the Fish Choir for the phenomenal presentation they put on. I mean, those guys are good. And everybody enjoyed it, talked about it a long time afterwards. We collected quite a bit of money for them for their road trip. I think we're going to Chicago this year. And got 2 veteran hospitals in Chicago. So we were happy to do that.
Fantastic. They are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they have been through different directors, and each one of them have been outstanding. But this record of them going and entertaining at Veterans Hospital is just outstanding too. Very good. What's going on at the park? We have a swimming pool or anything going on?
Ice skating.
No, that's closed. Again, this year, we're going to be participating in the live Christmas tree recycling program through the Green Team. All of December and January, we'll be taking live Christmas trees out of the park. Just follow the signs, it'll take you to the area where you can drop them off. Just please make sure you take all your lights, ornaments, and tinsel off your trees, bring them out to the park, and sometime in the spring, we'll take them out to local lakes and ponds and bury them in the water for fish habitat. That's what we use the trees for.
All right, moving now to Darren and our zoning inspector. Darren, who are we picking on this week?
All right, I would ask the board to approve a motion under 505.87 and declare the following properties a public nuisance: 114 County Country Green Drive, miscellaneous items, junk and debris, 370 D-Hawk Drive, some fencing has fallen down, that's actually a vacant house, 39 South Main Street, junk and debris, that's a fourplex apartment, and 3019 Redgate Lane, junk and debris. The occupant is currently a guest of the county, and so we thank Commissioner Tropicana for supporting that.
Thanks. Thought you might be.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 505.86 for the removal, demolition of a single-family dwelling and detached garage located at 117 North Lamar Avenue, Austintown Township, Mahoney County, Ohio 44515, being further described as parcel 48-023-0-242, lot 997, Wickliffe, based on the structure being declared insecure, unsafe, and structurally defective by the Austintown Township Fire Inspector.
So moved. Second?
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion to find the following motor vehicles meet all the following criteria: 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, excessively damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, and transmission, and declare the following vehicles public nuisance under Ohio Revised Code 505.871 in order to removal of junk vehicles within 14 days after notice is served to the property owner. Once again, back to 3019 Redgate Lane, an inoperable blue pickup truck with expired license plate HHQ 1662, parked in a disposed manner within the driveway, and 39 South Main Street, an inoperable unlicensed red sport vehicle covered with a tarp, parked in a disposed manner at the property.
So moved. Second?
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
And then I would ask the board to approve a motion to schedule a public hearing regarding proposed amendment 2019-02Z on Monday, January 13th, 2020 at 7 p.m. That hearing should take about 5 minutes.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not done.
Oh, wait, time out. Hold on 1 second.
That's the first meeting.
Well, here's my question.
Yeah.
If we need to change that date, does that create an issue?
Yes, because I got to do at least a 10-day notice. If you don't want this date...
Don't jinx us.
If you don't want it, then
Can we move it to a different date, please? There is a chance that we may need to reschedule that trustee meeting.
you want to know something, then maybe, the other thing I'm hesitant to do, we never historically have held hearings like in the afternoon. We can work with the board. You want, nobody even showed up for this, so we'll work with you guys.
Thanks.
So right now, tentatively, this is the date, and we need to change it, we need to change it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and last, I would just ask the board to approve a motion to approve the minutes of the public hearing regarding Amendment 2019-01-Z Cross held on November 29th, 2019. Whatever our last hearing date was.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Carano?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yeah, okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
For the students here, we normally are a little bit straighter with those things. Okay, now the money talks. Laura, what's going on in the fiscal office?
Oh, we're going broke.
All right. End of the year. Call the county commissioner and ask for.
I have a few more receipts to make, but it looks like we're gonna be okay, but we're just gonna squeak by. So I think we might end up having to borrow cash again for the beginning of the year, but we're gonna make it through the year. And, looking at the appropriations, we're gonna make it through payroll. I've shut down paying bills. The last of that is this week, so quit doing that. And then we'll need to approve some temporary appropriations so we can turn the year over so they can start running payroll. Because the first payroll is really early in January.
We did that, we borrowed last year. That's kind of typical, wasn't it, when we're waiting for the receipts to come in?
Right. It's just a lag in the cash.
Yeah.
We didn't have to do a lot of that in the past until the state governor decided to have a rainy day fund and took away $1,600,000 from us. Then all of a sudden we're holding our breath waiting for the end of the year to get the taxes for the next year.
Well, that saves me from explaining need.
Sorry.
That's all right.
A motion, please, to accept the November report submitted to the board for review, the fund status, revenue status, and appropriation status.
So moved. Oh, second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yeah.
Mr. Graham?
Yes. Moving on to the new business, motion to approve advance from general $1,000 to $25,000 to the communications department at their number is 6002.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Graham?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
And just to clarify, there's a lot of money that gets advanced to communications. The money from the COG, the council of governments, has been going into the general fund. So eventually those the advances will get repaid, but it'll end up turning into a transfer, but that's just because the money got deposited in the general fund.
Very good. Motion to increase cemetery funds, line 2041 appropriations to $57,000.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Is this the one you wanted to talk about?
Yeah. At the last meeting, you asked the auditor to certify the amount of revenue that would be collected upon the general fund renewal. They did so, and now you are submitting the renewal question and submitting it to the ballot. The entire resolution, which you do not have to read, this is the heart of it, is attached to your agenda.
Very good, thank you. Motion to proceed with the submission of the question of the tax to the electors of Austintown Township, Mahoney County, Ohio, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 5705.19A for the purpose of current expenses at the rate not exceeding .6 mils for each $1 evaluation as estimated by the Mahoney County Auditor, which amounts to .06 for each $100 of valuation for 5 years, commencing with tax year 2020, first due in calendar year 2025, and which levy is a renewal of an existing levy. This is our first step, or actually the second step, towards getting the levy renewed.
Correct.
So
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
yeah.
And here's a notice that we're going to do to our favorite reporter and our great television station. Motion to approve the time change of the 12 December 23rd meeting to 6 p.m. and not 3. Okay, it'll be at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Corino?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion authorizing the insurance of notes in the amount of not to exceed $700,000 in anticipation of the collection of current property tax revenues in and for the 2020 fiscal year. We're looking for an advance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Corino?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, here comes a lot of numbers. Motion to approve the purchase of 9 vacant parcels in our township. 48-015-0073-000, 48-015-0074-000, 48-015-009-6000, 48-015-009-7000, 48-015-0098-000, 48-015-0099-000, 48-015-01-00000, 48-015-01-01000, and 48-01-501-02000, with total tax appraisal of $18,960 on a tax duplicate for the sum of $10,000 as the township deems it necessary and proper to acquire these parcels for township purposes.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Corino?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Okay, we're at the point with the public response. We have 2 ways, both on camera and off camera. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to the township trustees and the fiscal officer off camera? Seeing no one running to the microphone, we'll ask, is there anyone here who would like to speak to the township? Here comes Sam.
Here comes Sam.
Here comes Sam.
Sam Swalger, 4492 Ball Road. I'm just here to thank the township and all its officers and department heads for all they've done for not only our veterans and their families, but also the 911 Memorial, and also for Mr. Connolly. So, and then as he spoke about the scam, I know my wife got something pertaining to police also, because she asked me about the donation I gave to the FOP, and I said, no, that's legit, because they gave us the number and gave us all the paperwork. So there are scams out there. The only other thing I'd like to thank Mr. What's the brother's name? Our buddy, Mr. Trapicani, for being here, a good buddy of mine. And I'd like to congratulate Steve Kent on his win to be a trustee. He's a fine young man and he'll do a great job. He used to be one of my coaches for the Little Falcons for a number of years. But most of all, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and to make sure all our safety forces, the folks that are out on the road during that time, to have a safe holiday and be safe out there. Thanks.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Does anyone else care to talk? Seeing no one, let's go to our comments by those of us on the board. Lori?
I don't have anything else today.
Okay. All right, let's go over Doug.
I'll be short this week.
Really short.
I'd just like to thank Joyce Pogue and her tree lighting committee. They did another fine job down there. More people this year than last year. I would also like to thank those who helped make that a very good event. Todd, from the Parks Department, did a lot of stuff decorating. The fire department for opening up their doors and allowing a lot of people through. Also, the band did a great job. Kept playing, and Joyce kept them going right until 7 o'clock. And Joyce just did a wonderful job for that. So congratulations to all of them. for what they did to make that a great community event. I'd also like to wish Steve good luck. We still have one more meeting, but Steve is a man of integrity and loyalty, and he'll serve the residents of Austintown Township very well. And good luck to him. And Anthony, thanks for stopping by and visiting. It's good to see a nice looking face instead of Distlers all the time. We do appreciate you stopping by.
I'll let them know.
Yeah, there you go.
Jim?
Just a couple of quick things. I'll echo the sentiments of Doug. Once again, Joyce Pogany, can you affectionately call her Mrs. Austintown. And for 32 years, she has put on the Wycliffe Christmas tree lighting, and she has done it successfully for 32 years. And I get no greater joy than getting to share that with my daughter Gabby. Over the course of the past 10 years, it has been one of the joys of being Township Trustee to get to meet and greet everybody at Station Number 2. So thank you to Joyce Pogany, to the Austintown Junior Women's League, and once again, to everybody that helped put it on, from our Parks Department, Road Department, Fire Department, and of course our Police Department. There, anything, maybe you could pitch in next year and do a little something.
I tell you what.
You're like the only department that has. You guys are okay.
This is true. They hold those, I guess, on Thursdays, because I've been back 11 years. I've only attended one because I always have a zoning hearing. I had a zoning commission and the Board of Appeals. Yeah, Sam was hustling to get down there. It always seems I have the zoning hearing, but I did attend one.
Well, it sounds like, according to Andy, it sounds like we're going to.
They don't want me anyway.
But thank you guys very much for what you guys do to put that on, and thank you to Joyce. Ironically, we had Steve Kent get sworn in tonight, and what I'm about to talk about, Steve brought to my attention. He's already becoming heavily involved as a trustee. We actually were invited after our last township meeting to go over and visit the Austintown Robotics Club at the middle school. And one of the things that was brought to my attention, and I didn't realize this until the statistics were given to me, was that 41% of the Austintown community, our students, are in need of some sort of food items, whether they are on a free or reduced lunch. And with that being said, the Robotics Club, they are actually called the Now, I'm not slurring here. This is what it is. It is the Architects. It's some play on words with some young generation that I'm sure my daughter would understand. But they put on a performance for us of a skit that they do with their Lego robots, and they are doing a project to help improve their community and those in need, and they're doing a food drive because there is a huge need for assistance in our school communities. So what they were asking is that people donate to the Austintown Middle School food pantry. And so I actually, for the first time, got a tour of that facility, and I can tell you that I was quite impressed by the organization. This was a concept initially designed by our Board of Education, but with these students and their help, they have kind of revamped it, and they are working to fill that food pantry. They could really use some non-perishable food and microwavable food items, breakfast items, and personal hygiene products. They cannot accept monetary donations, so what they need is stock for the food pantry. So what Steve and I had offered to do to help them out was that we would make some of our township buildings accessible for people to drop off food items. So if you come to Township Hall, the lobby of the police department, the lobby of station number 1, or if you go over to the senior center, there will be food donation baskets, and you can drop off any of those items. Once again, non-perishable food, microwavable food, breakfast items, and personal hygiene products. They are going to be taking those until December the 19th, and then they will be placed into there so that these folks can get those, whether they need food for over the holiday break, while the students will be on break because they will not have the food accessible to them at the schools, that they will be able to have some food items at their homes. So please, if you can help them out, by all means, we are very fortunate to have what we have. If you are able to give back, we would ask that you do so as well. And with that being said, I just want to publicly once again congratulate Steve Kent. I'm looking forward to working with him. I know Steve from my days at the Sheriff's Office. He was a great deputy back then, and you know, his desire to work for this community is a very strong one, and I look forward to that desire on the 4th of July committee, let me tell you. So, congratulations to Steve.
I'd like to start off, once again, I call her Mrs. Austintown, but Joyce Fogarty runs so many different things, the Historical Society, but this beautiful ceremony they have every year, the lighting of the trees. And the irony, this year was really crowded simply because last year it was, I think, 2 below zero, and it was really warm this year. But the thing is, in the junior league comes up with all those cookies, and I mean, I see people going home with bags. Somewhere along the line, they're stuffing them in there, but it was a great job, great job. The band was excellent, everything was great. We have the greatest Santa Claus, our Austintown Santa Claus is by far the best ever. And he has to go and work on the 24th, December, passing out gifts. He said he'd even go on the gym, so.
I'm on the good list.
He's on the good list? Okay. I'd like to congratulate the Falcons. The bowling team is winning like crazy, so is the wrestling team. Yeah, those are people you don't see too often. Now, not wrestling, but the bowling, for example, they are very, very successful. The wrestling team won 3 big tournaments in a row. And, I always wanted to do that, except those guys lose 15 pounds before they wrestle. I couldn't lose 15 pounds to save my soul. The senior center, preparing for a Christmas party is not easy, especially when you're dealing with the senior citizens, because I happen to be a senior citizen. And the thing is, but it was, I understand it was an outstanding program. I do want to say this, if I can make a personal comment. For those of you out there, I know I have to watch how to say this, but I couldn't go to a lot of the things simply because my wife broke her hip, and it's the same hip she broke 3 times. So she had a special surgery done in the Cleveland Clinic, and she has been laid up in the rehabilitation center for the last 9 weeks. She is coming home on Wednesday. That's really something. I'm looking forward to it. But I have to thank all of you, Jimmy over here, everyone that calls to ask about her and how and understand what happens because of the duty that I have to do running around. So I thank you all for that. The next meeting is the last for the young man to my left, who was a student, then he became my boss, and then he welcomed us when we asked him very nicely to take the job as trustee. We were somewhat disappointed, although we applaud Steve Kent for winning the thing, and we were looking forward to working with Steve, there's no 2 ways about it. But we were hoping Doug would, but Doug is not old enough, and he's the superintendent of schools. He's the superintendent of schools.
He's got a real big boy job he's got to do too. We thank your people, your Board of Education and everything else for, giving the permission for you to come here and do those things for so many times. And I'm sure
it's been fun. It's been a good ride.
Yeah, it's taxing for everybody, but we're looking forward to you returning when the time comes. Yes, for you. But all of you are looking forward to the Christmas coming up. Let's start Christmas now. We always say this, it's like the song, we need a little Christmas every moment, and we could start doing it now and start being very nice to each other. I noticed that there's a lot of people putting up activities and so on. It's really nice. But Walmart, when you go to Walmart, smile. Okay, that's the one thing that you miss at Walmart, is a smile. Everyone's in a hurry to get something on their way out. But now, I'll take a motion, please, to recess to executive session to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees, preparing or conducting or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation and other terms and conditions of their employment.
So moved.
Second,
Mr. Davis?
yes.
Mr. Corino?
Yes.
Mr. Magoo?
Yes.
In association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.